Māori writers and issues are dominating this year's Ockham New Zealand Book Awards. 8 Māori finalists, including Monty Suter, Alice Tipunga, Somerville, Michael Bennett and Melinda Webber, represented in every category for the first time. New Zealand Book Awards Trust, Te Ohu Tiaki Te Rauhiringa spokesperson Jenna Todd from Ngaitahu is with us now. Tēnā koe, Jenna, thank you for joining us.
Tēnā koe, Neil, kei te pihia koe.
Oh, very well, thank you. Kei te pai. Now, there are a record 8 Māori writers in the finals across 7 books. Why is this so significant?
Well, I think that kaituhi Māori have always been recognised at the New Zealand Book Awards, but what is significant about this year is that we have kaituhi Māori across all 4 categories, so it shows we're dominating in fiction, poetry, general non-fiction and illustrated non-fiction. They have been chosen from our largest pool of entries this year and are rising to the top in the most supreme excellent awards in New Zealand, Aotearoa.
Now, are Māori writers more prolific at writing and publishing, or are they just receiving more recognition?
I think Māori publishers such as Huia have been working for a very long time, but what I think is fair to say now is that there is a rise in publication across all publishers. The publishers are seeing a demand of Māori stories, not just for Māori people, but for all people in Aotearoa. There's a yearning for that.
Wahine Māori have led in novel publications and awards for many years, including Whiti Hereaka, Becky Manawatu, Paula Morris, Patricia Grace, Gary Hume. Talk to us about what appears to be a rise of Māori male novelists this year.
Yes, I don't want to forget Whiti Hereaka is an esteemed Tāne Māori novelist. However, this year we have 2 debut novelists, but they're both really established writers and creative people. So historian Monty Suter with his book Kāwai, and also screenwriter Michael Bennett. They're both genre novels. So Kāwai is history, Michael Bennett's Better the Blood is crime, but they're both exploring a similar tikanga. They're exploring utu.
And which book have you got behind you? You've got Kāwai, I can see behind you, and Better the Blood.
And I've got Better the Blood here, and I've got some in our other categories as well.
Well, give us an idea of some of these Māori finalists, who they are, some of the other ones that you haven't spoken to, and what their books are speaking to.
Sure. So in our poetry category, we have Always Italicized, How to Write While Colonised by Alice Tipunga Somerville, and then Sedition by Anahera Maere Gildea. Both of these books, I would say, the word that comes to me is pono. They're really deep musings and really urgent poetry books, and quite a mix of not just, it doesn't seem to me like your typical prose of poetry. They're really interesting. In general non-fiction category, we have a super popular book, A Fire in the Belly of Hiniamaru. This is a collection of kōrero from Te Tai Tokoro. It's a wonderful collection. It has this beautiful cover by Shane Cotton that is written by Melinda Webber and Te Kapua O'Connor. They're both Auckland academics. This is an essential read, and I think a lot of people will draw back to them for a long time. We also have a book called Downfall, The Destruction of Charles Mackay, who used to be the mayor of Wanganui in the 1920s. Paul Diamond, who is the curator Māori of the Alexander Turnbull Library, followed his life, which, because of his sexuality, ends in an untimely death.
What was the one you mentioned just before that?
Downfall?
Yeah.
Or A Fire in the Belly of
A Fire in the
Hiniamaru?
Belly, yeah.
Yes,
who was that by?
And then that one is by Melinda Webber and Te Kapua O'Connor.
So, Jenna, give us an idea, of what makes the themes explored by some of these Māori finalists so compelling.
Sure thing. Can I just mention one more finalist?
Of course
in the
you
final
can.
category? I don't want to forget her. That's Te Matanui Epa by Dr. Rachel Buchanan. That's a beautiful pictorial book following 5 taonga. So I guess what the interesting things that have really stood out for me is that a majority of these books are looking at identity, Māori identity, and looking back to look forward to see where we've come from. We have leaders in research academics who are in these finalists, plus we also see the true creativity and vibrancy of the storytelling that has been happening the whole time.
So let us know from your professional perspective why these books are literature that we should be reading.
Again, that's our stories, but I think having these written down helps to have an understanding of where we've come from and where we are today. Also, we just need to celebrate the imagination of our kaituhi Māori. I would urge everyone to pick them up. And then as a hot tip as well is I think when publishers see the demand for these books, they're going to publish more of these stories.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for your time, Jenna Todd from the New Zealand Book Awards Trust. Ngā mihi.
Ngā mihi nui.